Say hello to our next guest here on the show. This is Henry Ward. He is the CEO of Carta, making his taking stock debut, though he and I have interviewed before. It's great to have you.
Thanks for having me. Great to be here.
Thanks a lot for being here. So talk to me first and foremost. I know you're covering a whole bunch of stuff that you track very closely at Carta, given your data, AI, and IPOs. Let's start with IPOs, because we had Paul Atkins from the SEC here this week. Where do you see that we are in the IPO landscape?
There's a bunch of companies thinking about it, preparing for it. I was at a conference last week with a bunch of pre-IPO CEOs talking to public market investors, getting a feel for it. I should say the latest kind of, IPO companies that went out, over the last 6 months, and they're struggling a little bit in the markets. They're making late stage companies, even including us, taking a pause and saying, is now the time or should we wait 6 to 12 months? But everybody's getting ready. You talk to the top 100 CEOs of pre-IPO tech companies right now, they're all saying, look, 12 to 18 months, we're thinking about doing something.
Are there regulatory or macro conditions that need to continue to evolve to even make that ecosystem a bit friendlier for potential IPOs into 2026?
I don't think it's a regulatory issue for these companies. I think it's entirely right now there's a dislocation between the private company valuations and the public company valuations. It's way easier to get a good value or a good mark in the private arena right now. Public company valuations are much more strict, and that's what people are trying to figure out is what's the arbitrage of, hey, if I go public now, looking at my last private mark, will I get crushed in the public markets or not?
Talk to me a bit about what you're seeing in the world of early stage startups and anything that's really important there, Henry, you think more people should be paying a bit more attention to.
The AI craze is real. Like, it's a real thing. Everybody's saying, look at these valuations, they're crazy. 100% of these valuations are, 100% aren't crazy, 98% probably are, but the 2% that aren't are the ones that are going to return for all the mistakes of the losers. I think that's one of the things people don't quite get in private markets versus public. Public markets is really a normally distributed, it's a Gaussian distribution curve, right? Everybody thinks about it, Black-Scholes, it's normally distributed. Private companies are power law. And so 5% of the companies will return 95% of the results. And so how do you price that, right? And basically everything's priced as a call option on it. It's going to be $1 trillion company. Only 5% of those will be $1 trillion companies, but you price them all like they will be, and you just hope that you got the winner, and all the people that don't, they'll lose, but that doesn't mean it was a dumb investment. They just picked the wrong horse.
How should we think about the ongoing bubble debate? How warranted is that very debate, and where do you fall on valuations as we wrap up Q4?
I think it's high beta. A lot of people will lose a lot of money, not because they were stupid, but because they picked the wrong horse, but it was the right idea. It's hard to know which companies are going to be winners, but there's going to be a lot of people that lose money. There's going to be a lot of people that make a lot of money, and that's what the next, I think, 2 years will be, is filtering out which were the good companies and which were the bad ones.
Henry Ward is the CEO at Carta, making his taking stock debut, but it won't be the last time. We'll have you back again soon. All the best for the holidays. Thanks for being here.
Super. Thanks for having me.
Really good to have you.